Are we on? Okay, you can twist me around. Hello, live streamers. We're just about to get started. Hopefully you can hear this okay. Do say so if not. Just tightening you up. Here we go. Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming to the last Sheffield Content Club of the year. It's really lovely to have a nice full room of lovely faces. It's 3 lovelies already, and I've only said 2 sentences. That's how lovely it is. The hashtag for whatever you want really is that, so the one at the bottom, SHF Content, and welcome. Thank you for coming. I'll do my quick overview of stuff at the start. We've got a website update, which I just me fiddling around with a new website yesterday. I thought I would show it you and get any thoughts if you have any. First though, very meta, that's me, that's my freelance company. Hello, welcome. You all right? That's all right. It's okay, no worries. Yeah, I'm a freelance copywriter and content designer, worked in Sheffield for 20 odd years. That's me, that's my company name. Little Messers is Tom and his team. They do paid social media and other stuff. John Street Kitchen is where you are. Huge thank you to them for allowing us to come and use their space. And we have the marvellous Joe Horner, who is taking the photos and has taken the photos for every one of the editions so far. Big thank you to him. Pardon? You missed one? Yeah, it was actually a flood, which is worse than a blizzard. Toilets and fires. 2 doors, that's where you go for fires. And then at the end there are the toilets. So if you want to go to the toilets, right at the back. That's that covered. We have a code of conduct for the event. So this is Sheffield Digital's code of conduct. If you want to use this, you can for your own meetup or your own events. And if you have any issues or anything like that, then come and speak to me. If you have an issue with me, which is I say it seriously, then tell probably Tom or someone else. So do read it before you come. We can now read it on our actual website. So I went through and changed the word Sheffield Digital to Sheffield Content Club pretty much and used it on our website finally. Who's new? Anybody new? I think there's a few new people. Yep. Oh, wow. Quite a lot. Oh, where's everyone else that normally comes? So I set Sheffield Content Club a while ago. You'll see why I'm not being specific later. And I did some freelance work for Sheffield Digital, who are great. And I realized there were lots of tech meetups mostly, so JavaScript and stuff like that. And I thought we should have something that's more for content. And we have creative mornings, which I was inspired by, but I can't always get up for that because I've got 4 kids. I can get up, but not for that. And so I decided to start Sheffield Content Club. And the basic premise is just learn stuff, share stuff, and make new pals. And hopefully those 3 things have happened every time we've all got together. In that corner over there, in the darkness as it is today, we have 2 post-it notes. Hopefully they're still stuck to the wall. I can't see. One says I can offer, and the other says I'm looking for. So at some point when you get a minute, if you've got your post-it notes on your tables and you want to put a service of yours or something under those categories, so if you're looking for a job, or if you're looking for a particular person to work with you on a project, or if what you do you just want to get out there, then go and put your details on there. We don't post them online, so I make sort of decision not to go and take a picture and post it everywhere. So if you want to find out what other people have said, you need to go and look at that too. We did the website, and the emoji doesn't work. It seems because to turn it into a PDF. I now realise in this moment. Okay, but we did do a website, so I'm going to do a quick look at the website if you don't mind indulging me slightly. So we've had just like a one-pager since the thing started, which we just said the absolute basics. But we've always said that there's an opportunity to do a lot more with the site, especially now, unfortunately, Sheffield Creative Guild has closed down, that there's space for just some more stuff to happen online. At the moment, it's all just us, just fiddling about, basically. It's not like there's any funding or anything like that, but So forgive any sort of DIY ethic that goes behind it, although I generally think that's all right. But this is what we have. So just to go through a few things at the moment. So we're using Ghost. It doesn't really matter, but that means that the newsletter stuff is all built in. So if you sign up there, then you automatically go onto the mailing list or the newsletter, which is mostly just for sending updates out. So if you're not on that already and you want to hear about future events, good place to go. This bit here, it should have this should have a title that says profiles, or like everyone in Sheffield is amazing. Haven't worked out how to do that yet, but there will be a form at some point that you can send, you can fill in and send to me, and we will add you. So it's basically like a directory of creative content people in Sheffield. We asked if that was what people wanted, and they said yes. So we just did that just for tests, and you can see it just works like this. So you can change like that. It's just me and Tom at the moment. And then if you click through to someone, I'll go through to yours, Tom. We'll put some guidelines around we just copied and pasted our LinkedIn. I copied and pasted my LinkedIn profile anyway, which was woefully out of date. But yeah, we'll probably come up with some better guidelines and fields to fill in when you do it. But the idea is that we would then start to build up like a directory of like Sheffield's creative content folks. So I will we'll let people know when that form is available, but that's as far as I got. It kind of just looks like it's mine and Tom's thing, doesn't it, at the moment? But sorry about that. And then like news, blog posts, the usual stuff. And then the about page is useful in the sense that it gives you some more information about what we do. And then I just did like a really sort of quick DIY job board to see if anyone actually uses it. Seems like a quite useful thing. Again, Sheffield Digital has its own jobs board, but really techie. Like some of the jobs are content related, but it's mostly developers and software engineers, that kind of thing. So it's just an Airtable at the moment. It's just like very quick and easy to do. And I just chucked those in. It didn't take very long because we're just going to link to other people's stuff. So if there's a job profile, for example, on Sumo Digital's website, I thought they probably got jobs. They're like a huge company, and like immediately found those two. So I was able to just chuck them in. So we have things like job title, name of the company, the link, so that'll take you to the actual job description, salary, and as you can see, an indication of how many people put their salaries on the job posts, unfortunately. Location, whether it's full-time. We've got some categories which we can change. Like I didn't have a category for like whatever it was, lead game designer or something like that, but we could do that. And then when it was posted. So we have like a very DIY basic jobs board, but it works. And if you have a company and you have jobs that you want to put on, please go and do it. Or if you just see something and you want to share something for the good of the community, feel free to do that too. You just go to post an opportunity, whack that information into the big black space, into there, and it will automatically appear on there, and then we'll go on and panic if you put something awful on there, but I'm sure nobody will. So that exists, and then like I say, we've got the code of conduct on there as well now, so you can now read it here instead. And I think that's the gist of it. The other thing that we're going to do is a Slack team. So we have a Slack team. We've been nattering away organising the event on it for ages, but it's literally just us, like 3 or 4 of us. And there's no reason why we can't open it up. So that would be a place where we could have like online chat and community and all that kind of thing. That will be coming soon. There's something else. What else was it? The talks, yeah. So we're doing this. We probably won't include this bit when we when we put it online. But all of the talks we've recorded from the past. So we just need to chop them up and put them on, and we'll post those too. That's it. That's enough of my rabbiting about that. Unless anyone has any questions about the website or thoughts or comments. A less squeaky chair would be amazing. It's not actually a bit embarrassing, Carl. It's not actually the chair. Here's the chair. Thank you. Okay. On to the most important bit. So we have 3 fantastic speakers this evening. We've got Chloe Lowe, we have Rachel Hurst and Nick Soden. Hugely appreciative that they've given their time to come and speak to us. And I'm going to do a quiz. I'm sorry about that. I made the awful mistake. If you run an event and don't just, when you're doing this stuff and you're panicking, don't ever say, and next time we'll do a quiz, because you do regret it. And I did, and I do. However, we are going to do a quiz, and we have got prizes. These are just books that I own. At least for a little while longer. Still Like an Artist by Austin Kleon is brilliant. I always go back to it over and over again, if you haven't already got that. And then this is by Sean Meads Williams, who's a freelance writer, and she does the, what order do the words go in? It's the Freelance Writers Jobs newsletter or something like that. If you just type in those words, you will find it, because it's got tens of thousands of subscribers. And she wrote a book about freelancing, so the Freelance Writers Survival Guide. If you don't write freelance, then go for this one instead. Okay, it definitely is enough for me now. So I would like you all to give the largest round of applause possible for Chloe Lowe.
Thank you. So just, okay. Thank you for having me. Right, get rid of my notes. So, I'll put that one back on. Thank you for listening to the next 10 minutes. I can't guarantee it'll be 10 minutes. I do have a tendency to talk quite a lot, but I'm going to hopefully take you through a bit of a whistle-stop tour about how I became a female founder on a mission. So a little bit about who I am and who's talking to you today. So I am a freelancer. I'm a founder of an app that I will tell you a little bit about later. Up until February this year, I was the strategy director at Ride Shotgun, an agency here in Sheffield. And prior to that, I was head of digital. But I don't really like being defined by job titles. I think too many of us are. And it's often the first thing that we are asked, what do you do? So I asked my friends, or some friends that are sitting over there, to share some words about who I am and who's talking to you today. And it was a really interesting exercise, because I would never have written these things about myself. But Laura, fantastic writer over there, super focused and full of ideas. And Caroline, who's not in here, but I think she's watching, articulate, which we'll see. Joyful flashes of light and creative ideas falling out of her ears. And Lorna, another fantastic writer and editor and sound healer over in the corner over there, a woman in her power, which I quite liked. So I would never have written those words, but that is me. That's who's talking to you today. So I wanted to just share very quickly before I get into the app, the kind of path that I took, or the experience that I had from going from a senior leadership role as a female within a business to a freelancer. In case, the agency to freelance, or, you might be on either side of that kind of process, and it might resonate with some of you. So there were kind of four main themes, or four things that contributed to that decision to go freelance. And the first one was freedom. So I started with a life coach about 18 months ago. I started with a coach because I thought I need some accountability, I need some direction with what I'm doing. And actually that isn't what I needed at all. I found out kind of through that process that I just needed freedom to make my own decisions, to be free of, the 9 to not so 5 working hours, freedom to have time to think and to kind of reconnect with my creativity and what I actually wanted to do with my life. Value was a really interesting one, because I was so terrified of not being able to, have that same value, so be able to earn the same money, for example. But actually, this turned out to be a really interesting thing for me as well. So one of the things that I spent decades of work thinking was that my self-worth and my self-value was attributed to my job title. I was a strategy director. I'd definitely hit a ceiling within the agency, but throughout kind of a process with my life coach, I realized that my self-worth is not attached to my job title, and actually my value is still there, and I can totally do it as a freelancer, and it doesn't matter. Growth, I kind of found in the agency, I was in this constant hamster wheel, high stress environment. And actually, I learned bits and pieces along the way, but I wanted more. So actually, over the last 12 months, I've met new people, I've worked with different agencies, been exposed to different projects. And it's been really, really brilliant in terms of professional development and just learning new things. And then impact. So I I mentioned that I'd kind of hit a ceiling as a woman within a business and, agencies. I'm sure some of you work for agencies and understand that it can be quite challenging for women at the top. I certainly experienced that. And actually, I was kind of weighed with a decision, do I continue in this role at an agency, or do I go it alone and be a female founder of a tech-enabled platform that will help people with their mental health? So that's the path that I chose, and a nice segue into the app that I'll tell you about today. So this goes actually back until 2018, so it's been quite a slow process. I did, have a child, and COVID happened in between, so I think I'm quite justified in the time delay. But in 2018, I had an idea for a platform that could help parents manage the mental load of parenting. So I was in a full-time job trying to juggle one child at the time, juggle my relationship, my independence, my identity, with work and life and all the things that were kind of thrown up. And actually, I thought, there is a way that all of the lists that I kept in my head or on paper, there is surely a way that we can bring that into a platform and provide parents with essentially a tool that they can go when they are stressed out, when they're tired, when they're just lacking that bit of creativity or inspiration when it comes to managing young children. So how it started, I, as a strategist and kind of with my background in digital and platform development, it was a fairly kind of natural process for me to go through. I first validated the idea. I just did that using SurveyMonkey. I set up a survey with one of the strategists that I worked with at the time. We did a little bit of market research, just shared it out on Facebook and through my network. And actually, I wouldn't be here now if we hadn't validated that the idea was good. And actually, there was demand. Parents were stressed out. They were suffering from baby brain. They wanted something to help, and actually weren't kind of asking people around them for help. There's this real kind of pride or barrier that is associated with asking for help when you're trying to manage your kids and balance everything that comes with that. I also reached out to Sheffield City Council, and they've been amazing. So they have a program called Team SY. Now, don't ask me what it stands for, because it's literally the longest kind of name for a platform. But essentially, they are the entrepreneurial hub in Sheffield for tech-enabled or tech businesses. Very early on, I was assigned a business mentor and a tech mentor, and I still work with them today. And they are fantastic in terms of introducing me to training. So I've done investment readiness training. I've done courses on bootstrapping your business, and they definitely keep me accountable. My network, I'm so fortunate to have such incredibly talented people around me. So I definitely kind of utilised that network early on. Where I used a lot of copywriters as well. So I started to work with a copywriter I used to work with that's since specialised in mental health and wellbeing content. And then certainly the coaching was definitely kind of one of the things that kept spurring me on. I remember being out for a run and listening to a podcast they were interviewing the founder of the Flow app. And they asked her, what's that one piece of advice you'd give to, somebody starting their tech-enabled business or somebody starting out in this kind of field of work? And the founder had said, focusing on your personal development is the biggest thing that I could recommend. And that's definitely what kind of cemented the benefits of coaching for me. So how's it going? It took me a while. It took me one failed development process as well. I had to write off the first round of development, which cost me a lot of time and a lot of money, but not so much money. I was actually quite lucky. But I think my background as head of digital meant that I knew it was going to shit, and I knew when to pull the plug. But I launched the beta version of Parentlist app this year in September. So the beta version is just the test version. You know, the most important objective of this launch is to get feedback from people. I want to know how we can improve the platform, if it's working. And the plan in January is to actually launch the registration and onboarding process. So we're phasing development at the moment. That will go live and anybody can register. But so far, so good. We've had, over 1,000 interactions with the app, and I've got a really nice steady flow of people requesting access at the moment as well. So, and we've had some nice social media feedback as well. Somebody said they'd used one of the lists the other day, which kind of made my heart sing a little bit. Lessons learned. So I am doing this all. I say all on my own. I'm not on my own, but I am parent list. You know, there isn't a team behind me. In the sense that we've all got this kind of common goal. It is my baby. But one of the things that I realised really early on is that I cannot do this on my own, and I don't have the skill set nor the time nor the bandwidth to do that. So early on I learned, you know, I have to ask for help. I called in a lot of favours. I paid for people's services, but actually, you know, the network and the kind of team that I've managed to build around me has been absolutely invaluable, and I would never have got to the launch stage without them. Some are in this room as well, so thank you. Tools that can help. So I think one of the things, I am so short on time. I've got 2 children. Honestly, the logistics of this week I cannot even tell you, with school and nursery and work and so many things. So one of the things that I have kind of looked to is how I can automate some of the processes and some of the things that I've been doing. This might be controversial, but I do use artificial intelligence for copywriting. So I use an AI tool called Jasper.ai. I'll be completely honest, the copy that it produces is absolute shite. But what it is really good for is just getting, you know, if you need a bit of a kick-off point for an email subject line or a blog kind of outline or a flow, it's really, really good just for getting me into that headspace and to start writing, whether it be like a blog post or a list for the app. But Jasper.ai was really good, and actually I didn't have to pay for that. I got some grant funding through Team SY that paid for that, which was really great. And also Hotjar. So I don't know if anybody, like the content designers in here, one of the really surprising things when I launched the beta app, I sent everybody their logins and a link to the feedback form, and I was like, oh my god, I'm going to get so much amazing feedback and the bad feedback that's going to make it better. And I got 2 responses. I was like, why is nobody replying to me? But I hadn't incentivized them, and actually when they access the app, they're accessing it because they're using it because they want to. So I had to find a tool that could monitor the interaction. So I installed a tool called Hotjar on the app, and that tracks, it kind of does screen recording and tracks people's interactions. So rather than them telling me, I can watch the kind of their interactions to see if there's any friction or anything that we need to improve or any bugs on the site. The other lesson learned was product market fit. So I started off with research. You know, I wanted to know that I was on the right track before I invested too much time and money. COVID happened, changed the entire world. And, you know, I was pretty out of date, I think, when I came to pick this back up. One of the things that I'm kind of really held accountable for with Team SY is market research and demonstrating product market fit. So I run a lot of research surveys, a lot of in-person focus groups, and the in-person focus groups recently have been fantastic. It's so nice to be able to kind of get in a room and meet people and talk to people and kind of observe some of the languages and the behaviours which you can't do remotely, although we have done some remote ones as well. And the other lesson that I learned was actually to slow down and go at my own pace. I think somebody said to me early on, you know, I was so excited about the opportunity with this app. And she was like, you know, if it booms in the way that you want it to boom, can you handle it? And I was like, oh God, no, like definitely not. I can't. And actually that was a bit of a turning point for me. And I was like, I think I just need to slow down and do it at my own pace. That's my absolute rat bag of a 3-year-old. I cannot tell you how much she contributes to my mental load. But I thought it's always, I said to Sam earlier, I was like, I feel a bit weird just going and talking about myself. It feels a bit self-indulgent. So I was like, I wanted to at least share something that might be of some value. And I think one of the things that I really struggle with is momentum. And I'll be completely honest, I have lost the love for this project so many times, and I ebb and flow all the time. And I'm comfortable with that now, but at first I was a bit like, oh gosh, you know, if I just spent $4,000 on a development that I'm just gonna like, you know, my husband would be like, what the fuck have you done with our money? But there are some, you know, tips for keeping momentum, and I think this doesn't even have to apply for, you know, if you're freelance or if it's a personal project. I think you can really struggle with this on projects at work. You know, it could be something out of your home life, it could be a personal project or what have you. So something that I commit to is kind of taking very small baby steps with the app and making sure that I'm constantly doing something. So I benchmark 20 minutes a day. It's such a teeny tiny amount of time. But for me, that small amount of time is still progress. So it could be, you know, writing some social media content. It could be replying to emails or onboarding a new set of users to the app. But that 20 minutes is what I commit to every day. Now, often it will turn into an hour or a couple of hours. And, you know, you kind of get that spark back. But just making kind of myself accountable to that time really helps. I get a lot of stick for this, but I'm a massive morning person. So I get up at 5 a.m. in the morning. So, and I think there's a lot to be said about, you know, optimizing your time and your day around who you are. I've always been a morning person, but I cannot tell you how blissful that 2 hours in the morning when nobody needs me and it's quiet, it's just heaven for me. So usually I'll get up and I'll get my exercise out of the way. I'll do half an hour yoga. Sometimes I'll do a bit of you know, journaling or something, but most of the time I get stuck into work. And I know by the time I'm into the absolute shit show that is the chaos of nursery runs and school runs, that actually I've got the most important things done on my day, and it really works for me. And I think optimizing it, you know, if you're a morning person or a night owl, or when you know that you kind of your focus and your creativity is, and your mindset is there, then it makes such a massive difference. Community and collaboration, and I'm sure you'll be talking about a lot in the next talk, but that for me has been an absolute game changer. So going freelance, you know, I was very much at the risk of becoming a bit of a hermit at home, although my husband works from home as well, and it is just an absolute nightmare. But you know, one of the things I got kind of the opportunity to share an office space up at Park Hill with some amazing women. And, you know, that just having the community, the support, the ability to troubleshoot, to, you know, to reassure or to kind of be each other's cheerleaders has been a massive help. Now, that might not fit into everybody's, you know, working routines, but I think there are other ways that you can connect with people, whether it be through events or whether it be joining, you know, there's some pretty active strategy Facebook groups, for example, that are probably the only reason I would go on Facebook nowadays, but WhatsApp groups, you know, just finding your kind of tribe, as it were, and those like-minded people, I think is really good at keeping momentum. And then finally, pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. So this was massively out of my comfort zone tonight. But I know that getting out there, talking about the app, raising awareness about what I'm doing, you know, sharing personal stories with people, it's all good to kind of, you know, prove to yourself in a way that actually you know you can do it, and you know, pushing yourself out your comfort zone actually is never as scary as you think it's going to be. So, thank you. That's it. I've put my details up there. In terms of, I will stick a post-it note up, but any social media, kind of social media experts in the room, I am looking for somebody to support on Parent List, particularly from next year when we branch out to a wider audience. So please do come and chat to me. But again, just thank you for listening.
Okay, some questions.
Yeah, can do questions.
Any questions? Yep.
How long had you been working in an agency before you decided to go freelance?
I've only been working in agencies for 10 years. So I did 5 years at Ride Shotgun, and prior to that I was at another agency in Sheffield. as head of digital. Before that, I actually worked client side down in London. So I've worked, 10 years, but I mean, I'm knocking 20 years experience now. You get that realisation when you're hitting 40 and you're like, shit, I've been working quite a long time.
Anyone else?
Is the app live? So is it fully live for anyone to kind of go in?
It is, yeah. So it's kind of on request at the moment. So I've phased the development. I think I was so kind of scorned by the write-off version that actually I have used a friend actually to develop it this time. We're taking our time with it, so we phased the development. So we launched it as kind of invitation or request only, and then from January we're launching the registration, and that's it. It's out in the world then properly. But yeah, it's good.
Anyone else? Yeah.
Right there. Where do you get all of your content from? Do you create it all? Do you collaborate?
Both. So I have created a lot of content, but there is, through the research, this was really interesting, something that came through a lot of the market research that I was doing. There's an awful lot of parents that create content and have an opinion and, conflicting opinions. And I'm really strong with that on the app. I want it to be kind of, it's your app, it's not a community, because quite a lot of people have like, do you want to create a community? And I'm like, hell no, parenting communities are just horrendous. But one of the things that came through the research was that they didn't want all of those conflicting opinions. They wanted expert-led content. So in the very early days when I was just starting out, I worked with people that I knew. So I knew or know a really fantastic midwife that owns her own gym. So she kind of crosses over from, the healthcare to the kind of well-being and fitness and things. I work with a mental health nurse, so she's been fantastic. She's an ex-mental health nurse that now does meditation and healing, but she's done movement videos for the app, if you want to just kind of re-energize a little bit. She's done breathing technique videos and some short meditations as well. So I've worked with experts, and there's been a combination. Some of them I've known and they've just done it because they're really good friends and contacts. Others I've paid and invested in that content as experts. Yeah, it's been interesting. And then the stuff I write, I get people to verify, because I'm like, I'm just one of those parents that's got an opinion. So
Is the revenue subscriptions then?
it will be. So what I'm going to do, this is something that I've tested through focus groups as well. So the plan is phase 3 is to monetize, and it will be. I'm not decided yet. I'm going to have to do a bit more research. I think it's going to be a freemium model. One thing that I have committed to is that anybody that subscribes before it is monetized will get the lifetime free version of the app. And because I'm doing that, I might monetize the whole thing from the beginning. But actually, there is further development coming in 2023 where I've found an organisation that I can partner with that offers 24-hour medical appointments and 24/7 counselling and therapy as well. And actually, the research shows that people are willing to pay. They're actually willing to pay £15 a month for that as an add-on service. So it has got the potential, and it will be monetised, but it's still in development at the moment. I mean, it makes zero money at the moment. So, but it's interesting, the monetization as well. So the freemium version, I won't do advertising. That came out through the research that people hate advertising. But there are affiliate partnerships. So I'm currently in talks with a financial wellbeing provider that I would get a kickback from an affiliate partnership. And as much as it kind of irks me, but it's a really good revenue generator, Amazon affiliate marketing. So there is a shopping section on the app. Obviously, there's a huge opportunity to just sell products on there in relation to the list. So I'm an Amazon affiliate partner as well. All this stuff they really pushed me through as part of the business mentoring, making sure I had the business model canvas sorted. It was really good. It was really interesting.
Anyone else? Yeah.
You mentioned a life coach at the beginning.
Yes.
Is it something you recommend?
100%. I wish she was here. This is going to sound super cheesy, but it absolutely changed my life. Now, so one of the reasons, and I didn't mention this, I was going to, but I didn't read through my notes. So one of the reasons that I'm really kind of passionate about the app is because I've suffered with a lot of mental health problems. So when I was pregnant, I had prenatal depression, I had postnatal depression with both of them. I've been on medication since I was about 16, 17. So having been through it, I've been through therapy, I've tried all sorts of things, and life coaching was the one thing that just worked, and it kind of takes you through a process that doesn't feel medicalized in any way, but allows you to kind of explore and to think. And I don't know, there's a few people that have worked with Carol Ann. So she's called Carol Ann Ward. I highly recommend her. She's absolutely fantastic. But you can tailor it to you as well. I think you don't have to follow kind of set processes. I literally can't recommend it enough. And it was so funny. I remember vividly leaving her a voice note. I was down at my mum's in Dorset and I left her a voice note and I'm like, I think I need to go freelance. And she was like, what are you on about? I've known that for ages. It's just taken you this long to realise. And I'm like, okay. But yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, Santa worked that time. Yeah, this is the quiz. So we're going to do a quick quiz. Forgive me, the indulgence, but this is how all quizzes should be done. And if you pay for something, then you might as well get as much use of it as you possibly can, especially if it looks like this. So pieces of paper on your tables. You might notice that it doesn't say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's because you're going to do that on the side. And then tiebreaker for question number 11, as they call it also. And then, Carl, are we okay? I can see that this not finished, not the quiz, but the whole night finished until like about 8:15. Would that be the end of the world, just in case? So what we do is I'll rattle through these 10 questions and then everyone can have a quick drink before we have our final speakers, if that's okay. If you want to go and top up or go to the toilet. Okay, so it's the Sheffield Content Club Christmas quiz. Yay! So right number 1 on the left. Who's done the quiz before? A pen. Oh, has everyone got a pen? No here. Anyone pen missing? Here's pens. If you're on the live stream, you can play at home, but unfortunately you... Okay. That's fine. Yes, if you're live streaming, you can play at home. Obviously, it's on the screen, but I'm afraid I can't get a book to you. Okay, yeah, question number 1. What year was the first Sheffield Content Club? I wasn't expecting so many new people. I apologise. So these questions are all vaguely content related, mostly like social media related, because that's what most questions on the internet seem to be. Okay. And some of them are really badly worded. I'm a professional copywriter, however, I was doing it in a rush. So what are the top 5 social media platforms worldwide by active user? So that means, in order, so 1 to 5 in order. It's really hard, good luck. There is a key word though, this is really important, the worldwide bit, which is a big clue. Well, it's not a big clue, it's a very small clue, but it might help. It was the funding source. I think that's the worst one. Sorry. I mean, it goes without saying, but don't Google it. Okay, everyone got that? Super easy. I mean, this is a bit of a guess as well. How long does the average person spend on social media per day? And this was according to, when I get the answers, I wrote it down the answers actually. Let me find out. That's the US actually, I think that's the US. So that means you can be 10 minutes either way. So let's say it's 50, then you can 40 and 60 is fine. Which social network was purchased by ITV in 2005 for £120 million, which is change for these days? Okay. A lot of puzzle faces in the room, live streamers. Question 5. Who posted the tweet, "If only Bradley's arm was longer, best photo ever," which became known for being one of the most popular tweets of all time? Who posted the tweet, "If only Bradley's arm was longer, best photo ever"?
Known to who?
Pardon?
Known to who?
Not you, possibly.
Not me, clearly.
Sorry. I mean, that's kind of how a quiz works.
Oh, yeah.
It's getting very tense in the room, live streamers. People are very nervous about the quiz. Okay. There's at least one person in this room that should definitely get this. What does the term SLR stand for? This is in photography, I should say. So you'll have heard of DSLR. What does the SLR bit stand for?
It sounds, I don't know, but no idea, but it rings a bell. It sounds familiar, but I might think it rings a bell.
We're not in for
We're not here for top marks.
Question 7. What did Disney ban from its theme parks over safety concerns in 2015?
Oh, I think I remember this.
Okay, all good? Question 8. Only 3 to go. What was the world's most listened to podcast? I know this is very specific, but between Q3 2021 and Q2 2022.
Not famous.
I was hoping for a slightly more fun answer. How's it going at home, live streamers?
Yeah, I didn't really like it.
Feel free to leave a comment. Tom's manning the laptop if you want to tell us how it's going. Or if you want us to me to repeat a question, I can do that. Question 9. How long excuse me, how long are most podcasts according to Buzzsprout stats? Buzzsprout are a podcast provider, so they'll see all this stuff. So how long does the average podcast last? Oh no, not the average one. How long does that, what it says there, read that, not what I just said. It's nothing to do with averages. How long are most podcasts? Less than 10 minutes, 10 to 20 minutes, 20 to 40 minutes, 40 to 60, or more than 60? Okay, one more. So, last question. Now, I realise there are multiple answers to this, but I'm looking for one answer, and it may be if you know kind of answer, but think about what we're all here for. It's about content. So, have a good old think. You're upset with me, aren't you?
This is one of the questions like, can you read my mind while I'm thinking?
A little bit. It might be an if you know kind of question. I forgot about the tiebreaker. Yes. Not yet. Hang on. I'm going to read them out. I didn't quite get that far. I'll read them out at the end, just for extra googling. Okay, and I forgot about the tiebreaker question. Sorry. So the tiebreaker question, if in the there's only 10 questions, so I realised that we might end up having a tie. How many tickets the Sheffield Content Club sold in total? So we had 12 events. How many tickets have we shifted over all of those 12 events? Don't worry about all those people that didn't come those times when there was a flood and stuff like that. Like in total, how many tickets do you think we have shifted? And we have an exact number, so it's like whoever's nearest will win the magical prize. Do you think we should collect the sheets in so people don't? No, they need to mark them, don't they? Because people could Google, couldn't they, and change the stuff. So what do you think? Okay. I could just do the answers now, couldn't I? Okay, it's everybody. We decided we're going to do the answers straight away because otherwise there's all sorts of googling and stuff. It's a very serious business, so I know. So is everybody ready? Do you want to swap your sheet with someone nearby? Or a group nearby? No. We should do a quiz every month. Oh, tits. Oh, that's on the live stream. Sorry when I just spilled beer everywhere. Sorry about the foul language. Could have been worse. Uh-oh. Thank you, Tom. Has everyone swapped sheets?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Just a reminder that let's give one to the winner and one to the runner-up. That's how things work, isn't it? So we have Still Like an Artist by Austin Kleon, one of my favourite books ever. And we have The Pajama Myth, which is Freelance Writer's Survival Guide by Sean Meads Williams. So, question 1. Everyone ready? Excited? It's very kind of you to say. Okay, so the first Sheffield Content Club took place on the 16th of May at Sight Gallery, which is not part of the question, 2019. Question 2. What are the top 5 social media platforms worldwide by active user? Is there a way of doing this and being more generous? Because it's quite hard, isn't it? Tom, can you think of a way of doing this in a generous way where we could give people a point for getting like 3 right or something? Stick to my rules. Thank you. That's the kind of life coaching I need. Stick to my rules. Make the rules, stick to the rules. Thank you. All right, so you need these in order, and if you don't get them wrong, tough. The top 5 social media platforms by user. In 5th position is WeChat. Shall I bother with the rest? Number 4 was Instagram. Number 3 was WhatsApp. Number 2, YouTube. And number 1 was Facebook. Sorry about that.
Loads of people still.
2.9 billion. Half of the world still use Facebook. Okay, so how long does the average person spend on social media per day? And then your answer can be within 10 minutes. So the actual answer, and I didn't write down where I got the stats from, but I'm sure it was official, is 1 hour and 15 minutes. So if you answered 75 minutes altogether, quick maths, is anywhere between an hour and 5 and an hour and 25, then you're in business.
It means that people are better than we thought.
Has anyone got them all right so far? Brilliant. Okay, which social network was purchased by ITV in 2005 for $120 million dues? It was Friends Reunited. Yeah, it is. So, okay, question number 5. Who posted the tweet, "If only Bradley's arm was longer, best photo ever," which became known for being one of the most popular tweets of all time? Anyone want to shout it out? Yes, yeah. Yes, it was Ellen DeGeneres. It was that famous Oscars photo where she did the selfie and all the celebrities were behind. Bradley, not Walsh, what was it? Cooper. It wasn't Bradley Walsh. Should have been. Okay, Joe, would you like to do the answer for this one, or is that too much pressure?
Is it single lens reflex?
Correct. What does the abbreviation SLR stand for? It's single lens reflex. That's a hard one. I heard at least 2 people get this one right. I overheard them. So what did Disney ban from its theme parks over safety concerns in 2015? Selfie sticks. Selfie sticks. Number 8. What was the world's most listened to podcast between Q3 2021 and Q2 2022? It was, and I say this with some regret and sadness, the Joe Rogan Experience. The reason the dates are slightly significant is I think that was just before he moved to Spotify, where I assume it's all gone down now. Okay, how long? Question 9, how long are most podcasts according to Buzzsprout stats? They are 20 to 40 minutes. 32% of 32% of podcasts are 20 to 40 minutes. And then finally, question 10, who the heck is Tom? Yes, he was the founder of MySpace. He famously was just Tom with his little picture in the corner. His real name is Tom Anderson. Well, we might need to, yeah, we might need to. So, anybody got 10? Did anyone get 9? 8? Oh dear. Did you come to the right place? 7? 6? Oh, I'll never do. You've made a mockery of my quiz. 5? Yay! Well done. Did anyone else get 5? 2 2 5s. Uh-oh, tiebreaker time. I'm getting too excited, I realize. Just had to check myself there halfway through the uh-oh. Okay, so the tiebreaker was how many tickets to Sheffield Content Club sold in total, so whoever was nearest is going to win. So do you know whose sheet you had?
There's 3 on 5.
Oh, there were 3? Oh, so we got 3 people on 5? Amazing. Okay, that's fine, we can still do tiebreakers. Although I haven't got 3 prizes.
Winner and runner-up.
We'll figure it out. Okay, so how many tickets to Sheffield Content Club sold in total? The answer was no. The answer's on my phone. I've absolutely lost it, Tom. I'm sorry. The total is 572. Again, a lot of those people did not actually bother coming at the time. It's the problem with a free event. So did anyone get close to 572? So what were the numbers? Let's shout them out. 370. 427. 450. So that is the winning. So whoever's that was over there is the winner. Hooray! So would you like to come and collect your prize? Tom, would you like to present the prize?
Yes, sure.
Come on.
Do that.
Like this, you hold it. Would you like the jacket?
No, okay.
This is for Lorna because she wanted.
Marvellous.
Then we've got a runner-up.
And the runner-up, who was the second one?
We need a first prize.
I know. Well, I'll buy a drink for the person who came third. If you let me know who it was. Okay. Before we get on to our final speakers, let's have 5 minutes. You can go and grab yourself a drink or some nibbles, or go to the toilet. Do whatever you want to do, and we'll come back in 5 minutes' time. You good to go? Yep. Okay, everyone. Hi, everybody. I'd like you to return to your seats if you're away, and give a huge round of applause to Rachel and Nick.
Do you want me to be like here?
Yeah, on my knee. Oh, we need this.
Hi. Hi. Firstly, I apologise for my annoying cough. It was not a good idea to host what was essentially a Christmas party for a load of very excitable women on the back of having a big cold. So now I've got a very declining voice that leaves me and comes back in, cough fit. So I apologise for that.
So we are the people behind In Good Company. So if you haven't heard of us, then we're going to have a chat through what we've created, how we've created it, and the parts that we play in it. So Nick, you want to introduce yourself?
Yep,
first?
so I'm Nick Sowden. I'm recently just become a freelance art director. I've similar experience to Chloe. I've worked 14 years in marketing industries and in agencies in Sheffield, but I've just made the move into freelance world. I'm an art director. If you don't know what that is, my kind of rolls over two bits of a project. So I'm either at the start of a brief where you need ideas and kind of digging into a brief to work with strategists and things like that to find the consumer insights that spark the ideas. Or then the other bit of my job is being more hands-on on photo shoots or film shoots, creating content, kind of directing things, or kind of orchestrating lots of different people to make the creative vision come to life.
And I should have definitely gone first. I'm not as exciting as that. So I'm a journalist by trade. So I've trained in journalism, did news reporting, went into features writing, went into commercial writing, went into blogging, done events, done stints in PR. So done all sorts of writing, and I went freelance as a copywriter and freelance journalist in 2020. Which seemed like a bit of a mad idea at the time to do that, but it's worked out fine.
And was the kind of start of our idea bubbling away. So this In Good Company is essentially a lockdown idea. It's a lockdown baby, isn't it? We found ourselves in different and new territories of our lives, as I'm sure a lot of people in this room did in 2020. For myself, I was a first-time mum, so on maternity leave through lockdown, first-time mum, so I've never been in that world before, trying to make connections with new people, but connections on a greater level. You know, I wanted something a little bit more than the kind of baby sick chat. I was after finding some people that I could probably slag it all off to about, really. It was essentially what I was looking for. And then you recently launched into freelance world.
And obviously that's a roller coaster all of its own, and you need different people around you. You've not got people to bounce those ideas off or just to check you're not going insane. So I was looking to make links in the freelance world as well. So we both sort of had the sort of wanting to meet other people, but how do we approach that? And we thought there must be numerous other people that are finding themselves in a situation, not only through being separated from people for so long, but also people moving to the city, people who work remotely all the time, like ourselves, or there's a lot of, well, in any city, but entrepreneurs and self-employed business owners. So we were like, how do we bring all these people together?
And just, I think as well, like sometimes just being at a certain age, you haven't got all the opportunities around you to meet new people. You know, you're not starting a new job every week, or you're not kind of starting a new club every week, or starting a new school or uni or education kind of environment. So even just you come to a point of your life age-wise where you struggle to make new connections. So we definitely felt like, even though we based it off our two periods of life at that time, we knew there were other people, situations we could tap into for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we say it was a kind of unshakable idea for us, because it was those that period of lockdown where you could start meeting up with friends and going on a walk. When we were doing that and kind of chatting everything through, we came up with this idea that we knew we wanted to make an event, because we were all dreaming of like events, weren't we, at that point? So we wanted to make events that combined a lot of the things that we classed as life simple pleasures. So amazing, beautiful surroundings, warm surroundings, and then just fantastic food and drink, and yeah, great company, basically. Yeah, a shared appreciation of all those things, and we knew we were specifically going to be aiming it at women.
So this is an image taken from our first event that we held back in June. Just in that image alone, you can get the warmth that comes from these events, the safety of the events, but also just that wonderful environment to meet new people with like no pressure on you whatsoever. So we base the concept around a meal, and then we also have a panel conversation that we'll come on to a bit later on. But the idea essentially was to try and get all these women in one room, and we did joke about how we're going to do that for a while, because the thing we knew in our heads as well what we wanted this event to look like, but we needed to get the content out there for people to attract the right people to it, to get partners on board, to get speakers on board. So initially we were building a picture of what it would look like purely through the imagery that Nick was coming up with and sourcing, and then the words that I was putting together on how this event, it wasn't just describing the event to people, it was delivering what the event would do for them, so how it would make them feel, like the gap that it would fill for them and what they could get out of it, and communicating those messages before we had these lovely pictures to show off. And the second event as well, that was held in October.
And it's fair to say, regards that point, you know, we did a big kind of, with Rachel's amazing experience in journalism and PR, we really did a big push in terms of a press release and going out to lots of different media agencies at the point of launch before our first event. And like Rachel was saying, at that point, we were pitching an idea that we couldn't show you. You know, we hadn't done it before, so we were just, you know, picture the scene, that kind of thing. Whereas now, you know, with the new year ahead of us, and when we hopefully go out and do another push to try and get some other media outlets interested in it and spread the word for us, our package will be completely different, because we have now images that tell the stories and that will hopefully connect with other audiences. So we wanted to provide some escapism for everyone's from everyone's everyday and the everydayness that kind of can grind you down. We wanted to spark excitement and for people to do something for yourself and to feel your true self. And then also to facilitate the opportunity for you to meet and chat to people that you resonate with and that you're inspired by. And that image
yeah,
hopefully says that, yeah, there's a lot of people resonating with whoever's talking at that point.
Yeah, sums that up. And earlier on when we were just having a quick flick through these slides, we said how, now unless anyone's going to prove me wrong on this, but I can't see that they are, like no one's on their phones. Like this is what we found as well. Once you get people in that room, while it is a very Instagrammable event in terms of the setting and how we enrich the event, it's once everyone's in there, they're so engaged with each other. I mean, the noise in the room is incredible alone. That many women all chatting at once. Some people might not like that noise, but we like revel in it. It's wonderful. But it's really, really special. And to get people, you know, in there that are totally engaged and taken with the event is just brilliant as well.
So yeah, like we said, that we were aware that connecting with people at different stages of your life was becomes harder, and there's barriers that happen. So what we're really proud of here is that we offer a seat at the table for everyone to come, and we're really we do now, and we will continue to try and make sure our message gets out there that we are we want to appeal to, we want to welcome women who work across every industry and every sector. You know, this is not a niche creative specialism, although it might feel like it because the content is curated and has a style and is a, you know, a brand to be attracted to. But we were thrilled at the Christmas party the other night where we were talking to an engineer and then a leading staff nurse. And, you know, when we hear that other sectors are coming to it, that's what really, like, we love that, because ultimately what we're trying to provide when you sit down at our table is the chance to converse with loads of different women, isn't it?
Yeah, and so these are just some of the stories and posts that we've been tagged in of women who've met at our events and then gone on to collaborate. So it might be through business. Some people have just met for a coffee as friends, which is really nice as well. Other people, like I said, they collaborated together. We had like a florist from one of our events then collaborated with the ceramicist from our event, and we've had someone at the Christmas do last week came up, gave us a big hug because she'd got her first paid job through someone she'd met at our event. We were talking, saying another lady has said that she's had a full awakening from our event. She's changed her hairstyle, dyed her hair, she's gone out and bought herself a new wardrobe. She was a speaker at our event, and she actually said it was because in talking about what she's done, she's become really proud and gained a lot more confidence in herself, really,
Yeah,
just through coming to the event, which was absolutely mind-blowing for us to hear that feedback.
Yeah, so we absolutely want our events to be a safe space for women to come to. And within that, obviously, what we were talking about is that we were trying to open our audiences up to lots of different women across lots of different sectors. But something that we feel really helps that be a safe space is the diversity in the room of women. And that's something that brings into the next kind of, we always talk about In Good Company's got loads of layers of the idea that just enriches it. And one of the big bits that we're proud of, and one of the bits that really drove the idea, was the fact that we knew we wanted to create this event where women came together and shared nice food and nice drink and nice surroundings. But we knew that there was power in conversation. And I think, again, it was another kind of lockdown spark, because when we were getting together, we were chatting about what podcasts we'd listen to, and how we were really getting inspired and boosted by just listening into those conversations, weren't we?
Just listening to the people.
So we create this in our evenings. The main kind of focal point for the night after the meal is a panel conversation where we bring together three incredible women from the city. And yeah, we say that you're going to be lifted by the conversations that you never knew you needed. So that might be just by the people that are sat around you, and inspired by the women that you never knew existed.
So this is, like I said, an example of our first panel. And so we say that when people come to the event, they share their thoughts and their feelings with people around the table, just through the conversations they're having there, but also then our panel, and they hear from them as well. And it's not a presentation about what they do, it's not a Q&A, it's very relaxed chat about day-to-day conversations that everyone in that room can resonate on some level. It's, you know, how do you prioritize your time? What do you choose to let go of? Who are your cheerleaders? Who do you surround yourselves with? Like, what are your goals? But there's no pressure on that. It's just inspiring to listen to other people's experiences, but also be able to be like, God, yeah, I felt exactly like that today, or, you know, I know exactly how that feels. So we say that it's a conversation on what it means to be a woman in today's hectic world. Expect to hear the good, the bad, and the beautifully honest. So this was our second panel from the October event. That's actually our first panel. So we had, so just to give you a quick example of the types of people that we'd have there. We had Grace Tyndall, who's the co-founder of Scandiborn, so worldwide,
Multi-billion
yeah,
pound
huge children's toys and clothing company. And Celia Spander, spoken word poet and BBC Radio Sheffield presenter, and Lydia Lakemore, who is a personal trainer and a medical herbalist. So all completely different backgrounds, completely different experiences, all bringing something totally different to the conversation.
And then another layer of loveliness that we add to the event is the fact that it's a perfect platform to showcase some other female-led Sheffield brands. So for each event, we have a number of different partners, and we have a title for some of those. So we always have a venue, and then we have a decor house, so a brand that supplies a beautiful creation that becomes part of the photo opportunity of the evening. We then have a table host, which is a brand that puts their products on the table for guests to kind of interact with and have a look at during the night. We always partner with an illustrator for each event so that the publicity and the look and feel of each event is a little bit different, just trying to enrich each event and make it look a little bit different for either a new guest or a kind of regular. And then we always have a amazing female photographer from the city to capture the event and showcase the night itself. And then this is our second event that we held. So again, you'll see our list of panelists there, and then partnering with our brands again in that same format. So a venue, a decor host, a table host, the illustrator and a photographer. And what's really amazing and mind-blowing for us is that with each event we're getting more and more brands knocking at the door wanting to work with us. So you'll see here we've got some guest collaborators. So we were really lucky enough to partner with Mia, a brilliant sign writer. She made us a great piece of art that we use at every event, which is a mirror. We'll show you, we've got a picture of it later on. And then we had Kat Eaton, who is a singer, performer. She came and did some live songs for us while the guests were arriving. So like I said, we're just building on every event and layering it with just showcasing amazing Sheffield talent and people. And yeah, the more we can enrich it and the more we can bring to people each time, that's just our dream really, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think we found that obviously like in our own jobs we understand the power of collaboration as well in getting so many sort of great people together in one room and what they can achieve, and that's just what we're doing through the events. It's that collaboration of bringing different people together and showing off what everyone can do. So this is just another example of how we're connecting people and the type of content that we're also sharing. So we do a little story series every so often on our channel, which we've called City Lust, which is just to shout about and share great organisations, charities, events, businesses that there are in Sheffield. So again, linking people up and shouting about what's great in Sheffield and all these amazing businesses that we've got as well.
So we had our Christmas soiree on Thursday night, and it was called a soiree to kind of cushion us, because when we first launched the idea for a Christmas thing, we were like, right, let's do a Christmas party, but let's not call it a party because we don't know if many people are going to come. So let's call it something smaller.
And we don't know if they'll dance, so we don't call it a party.
So we didn't call it a party. So the word soiree, although it sounds a little bit pretentious, there was a point behind it. Soiree is about a collection of people gathering for music and chat, I think is the definition. So we were like, perfect, we'll have that, thank you very much. And we have got some pictures to show from that as well. So again, partnering with two brands. We collaborated with Mia again to do some amazing artwork, and we had a brilliant aspiring photographer come and take some photos for us. So a real joy to kind of facilitate an event. The Christmas soiree was very different to our normal events, but this was something that we felt the community that we'd built deserved an opportunity to celebrate themselves at the end of the year. You know, we very much positioned this as a Christmas party for those that don't have Christmas parties, the freelancers, the self-employed, the stay-at-home mums. You know, we knew there was an audience out there. So it was a privilege to be able to make that happen and give that festive outlet for people, wasn't it?
Yeah, and thankfully all the tickets went.
Yeah.
And people danced. So.
And it was a party.
Yeah, it was definitely a party. And that gives us just some feedback, like we said, from our events that we've had from different people that have come along. So we've had like a new mum that was saying that it's given her a boost about going back to work. Oh, and she was also new to the city, so and also about living in a new city. We've got people who describe themselves as being an introvert, but that had really enjoyed the events. Another person speaking about that if you were worried about coming to the events and feeling awkward, how instantly she'd felt at home. So we've had really
and
lovely feedback.
it's this stuff that really just makes it all worth it, isn't it? The
feedback and seeing how it changes, because we're in our own little bubble on the night, but it's all these lovely things that come out that we see the next day when we're recovering. The feedback's just lovely to see that we're making like such difference in the connections that are being formed.
And then 2023 ahead of us. I mean, we get so carried away in the In Good Company world that we forget that we only launched in June and we've only done like 3 events over that period of time. We think we're like 20 events knee deep and like we're not at all. So we're really excited about a fresh whole new year ahead of us where we can really start to build and shape and define what the future of In Good Company looks like. I mean, there's one example here of something that we launched which was off the back of some feedback, because we're very open to asking our community for feedback on the events and what we can provide for people. And part of being inclusive and welcoming to everyone was this idea of gifting a ticket. So, of course, there is a price to come into one of our events, and that's not going to be accessible for everyone. But what we've done is launched a gift a ticket. So on our Eventbrite page, you could have bought a ticket that we will then find a person for. So we're going to partner with a couple of women-based charities that work with either young women or underprivileged women or women in just changing periods of their life. We're going to partner with them so they can ask some of their women that they're working with to come to the event. Obviously all anonymous, and we won't be kind of clapping those people on the night. It will be just an experience for them to come to, and the take up on that has been so like heartwarming, hasn't it? More than we could ever have imagined. So we're really thrilled about starting initiatives like that, and really excited about the plans that we've got for next year. And this is the mirror that Mia,
a beautiful mirror.
that Mia created for us. So that's us.
Thank you. Amazing. Does anyone have any questions?
We always plan for it to be, I think it's a great thing that it's Sheffield centric, but I was only noticing that your Instagram handle is kind of _Sheffield. Do you have aspirations of this becoming something that could move to other cities?
The handle has changed. We're now, our handle is the In Good, because we do see that it's got legs to go elsewhere. So we see ourselves being the In Good, and the company element will be our events, and it'll hopefully grow from there.
And we have been approached by a couple of different cities to do events there, and the appeal of that is absolutely, but actually when you dig into that, the reality of it isn't right for us right now. So much of the heart and the soul of In Good Company is that it's a Sheffield idea. We both live here, we're both proud of it, we both work here, this is our future. So there's obviously joint interest in us just doing something for the city you live in and the place you want to live in. And, with this being a passion project, our time does go into finding those brands and finding those amazing people and stuff. And that's obviously natural for the city you live in, because you kind of know of lots of businesses and people. But if we started doing it for cities we don't know, that's a different task, isn't it? Because then you've got to dig into their scenes and their independence and stuff like that. So we need to be, and we are being really smart about the growth of it, but it's still being true to the idea and true to the heart of why we launched it.
Yeah.
So it's something that we're
It's going to be growing. We don't know if that's like geographically or whether that's more from, like I said, being good in Sheffield. But like for us, it's very much the passion of Sheffield that started it. So that's where we're going to initially definitely start with. And we don't see that moving for a little bit to start with, definitely. So, yeah.
Thank
Anyone else?
So your next event's in February, isn't it? I think, but it's sold out. So you're doing them every quarter? Or...
Yes, but I think we're learning because demand is there. We need to think how we can fill that demand in other ways as well. It's obviously fab that they get sold out months in advance, but then there's negative bits to that as well. So yeah, again, something that is on our agenda to be looking at and thinking about.
It was another reason for doing the Christmas event, because we felt like it was too long to go until February without bringing. And when I say bringing the community back together, we've had like of the 2 events done so far, it's kind of been a 50-50 split on people returning and then new people coming in, which is perfect, which is the ideal really, because it's building that community, but also allowing new people to come in. And also we understand that not everyone can make every event, maybe afford every event. We don't expect everyone to come to every event. So so there'll be sort of the 4 sort of pillars, I think, and then we're seeing how we can perhaps grow or do things in a different format around that.
Anyone else? Okay, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
This is where I sit here pointlessly for about 20 seconds. That's it. Thank you all so much for coming. The website is there, and that's the social media handle, various places. If you do get a chance before you leave to put Icon off or the other one, then feel free to go and do that. I'm looking for. Feel free to do that. If you've got any feedback on the website, please let me know. If you want jobs or if you want to collaborate with someone, please put it on the job website. I'm not sure I can do it all myself. It needs to be a community thing. And look out for like a Slack team coming soon. I think that'd be really useful for people. And have a good Christmas, I think. Thanks for coming. And goodbye, live streamers.